Casey Smith, first hit of the season, a game winner, walk-off. Don't play the Jung-Hoo Lee. He may be out for a while. That didn't look good. That didn't look good at all.
Poor guy.
I mean, the Giants are the walking wounded right now. Sasky, good morning to everybody out there. Get out their graveyard shift if you're at work. Yeah, we could tell Friday when you called in for an hour. But you know what? You helped us out because I don't know. It was starting to become the morning mail-in Friday about 8:30, and Shasky gave us a lifeline and talked for about 45 minutes. Talk for about 45 minutes. No, good morning to you, man. I missed you too, man. Shout out to YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Brought to you by, and X as well, I guess, Twitter/X. Brought to you by First NorCal Credit Union. Upgrade your savings dividend. Open a First NorCal first-class money market today. And shout out to the Xfinity Mobile text line. YouTube, we see you. Giants get the series win. You know, there's a lot of, even when they win a series.
It's insane.
It's just insane. Conforto's got a heavy. Jung-Hoo Lee's shoulders jacked up. And what's next?
Blake Snell's wearing two different pairs of uniforms. The top was a San Jose Giant white, like I'm talking that cocaine white top, and he had like the cream pants. Right. I don't know if you saw it.
I did.
He's doing a rehab start. I mean, our pets' heads are falling off.
Yeah, no, it's kind of wild what's going on here. Austin Slater, what concussion?
Okay, so
Patrick Bailey. I mean, what's going on with him?
Illness.
These guys are just dropping like flies.
Don't forget the shortstop, Nick Ahmed.
He's hurt too. That's why Casey Smith is up.
It's just, you know what? Here's the funny thing. No, not funny. This isn't funny. No one roots for injuries. Would you agree with me there? Like, nobody with the normal brains, like, yes, I'm rooting for an injury, right? Like, obviously, it's really unfortunate.
I know where you're going here.
The unintended consequence is that we're getting a chance to see some of the young players. And the reality is that none of them was really scalding the ball or earning a spot in AAA. And really the only way they were going to get called up was because of some injuries. And it sucks. It's unfortunate. It's part of the game. I understand all the things that everyone says, the cliches. But, like, come on. You saw Ramos on Saturday make some plays in the outfield, and it was like, oh, my God, we can throw guys out? Oh, my God, there's a pelican in the outfield. This guy's making a diving catch.
Ramos put on a show Saturday night.
He looked
put
awesome.
On a show.
How about with the unbuttoned shirt? I mean, everybody was loving it.
The swagger. I mean, he was looking good Saturday. I loved what he did Saturday. He's forcing the issue. Play him. Slater out, Ramos in. Ahmed out, Schmidt in. And now you got to go full youth movement.
Thank you.
What's up with Marco Luciano? What's up with Luciano?
You know what I think what's up? I think they know that he's not that great. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm reading the tea leaves wrong, and they just want to play him every day. I got a feeling that they've been trying to trade him and package him into something, and I think the rest of the league's like, yeah, you view him higher than we do. That's my sense,
all right.
But I have nothing concrete. That's just my instincts.
Because now with all these injuries, Jung-Hoo Lee's going to be off. When you got the arm in the chicken wing like that, that's not just a 10-day injury. To me, that's an injury where you're going to be out for some time, homie.
He's probably going to be under the knife.
Well,
that's not good.
That's not good. And that's like the third or fourth time this year I've seen him misplay a ball in a wall.
Yes,
now, I know a lot of people complaining about the chain link fence and maybe you should get some padding out there, but he misjudged the baseball. And right now they're diagnosing it as a dislocated left shoulder.
Yeah, I heard it's undergoing
MRI. Yeah. I mean, it didn't look good.
Your
hair's
right
not look good. You roll right away when you watch sports. You're like, oh, that's not good.
Exactly.
That's not a 10-day. So now you got a center field problem. Now you got to figure out who the hell is going to play center field for you. Is it is it going to be Yaz again? Is it going to be Ramos? What the hell are you going to do there? Luis Matos?
He got called up. Wade Meckler is like, I don't know. I asked Lubman, what is going on with Wade Meckler? This is a guy that like got brought up out of nowhere.
Yeah,
and I don't think I've seen him in any of the box scores in AAA. I have no idea what's going on.
Still injured.
Tyler Fitzgerald. Oh, he's still injured. Okay. Tyler Fitzgerald will get a look out there. Here's the thing with Tyler Fitzgerald. I think he's a nice super sub. But I don't think you want to play him every day.
No, I wouldn't.
You know what I mean? Like, I think he gets exposed. So right now, you are looking at a guy, Casey Schmidt, who, in my estimation, I think he has an opportunity to be the shortstop this year. I think that the organization is thinking to themselves, all right, we've got Chapman for at least 1 year. He's probably going to opt in. It'll probably be multiple years. We can take a subpar bat at shortstop if you're giving us elite defense. And I think that the organization is viewing Casey Schmidt as saying, here's an opportunity. Do you want to run with it? Now, I don't know. Like, can he do it? I don't know.
Can you risk having a subpar bat in this lineup when guys aren't hitting? Solaire's still not back.
Great question.
You know what I mean?
It's a great question.
And listen, it wasn't like Jung Hooley was called into baseball.
No.
He had hit a little bit of a rough patch.
Yes.
And his OPS was 135th in the league, for crying out loud. His OPS is under 700.
He was
under 650.
He was rolling the ball over a lot, and it's just the hard-hit balls that were a big thing in the first month were starting to slow down.
Right. So, look, when Nick Ahmed comes back, and if Casey Schmidt can make some headway, what does it mean for Chapman? What does it mean for the guys who are opted in or opted out? You may have Farhad's job over the next 2 months is going to be very, very interesting because you may be at a point in the deadline where you may be competing for a wild card spot, but you may still have to trade some of this money. And when I mean trade some of the money, that's the Robbie Rays, that's the Blake Snells, that's the Matt Chapmans, that's the Jorge Solaire's. Because I don't know where they're going right now. I don't know if this team's good enough to compete for a playoff spot. I know the National League is down a little bit, but I'm watching that Reds team. Hey, look, the Giants get credit. They won 2 or 3 in this series. They get a lot of credit for that. Coming back yesterday from 3-0, I thought the game was over. Yeah. I thought the game was over. Yeah, Harrison, he gets credit for keeping the Giants in the game.
Yeah.
He fought through some adversity. I'm not mad at him. But this team, I just... Something's amiss, Shasky. It's just something's not right with this team.
No, I'm glad that you're pointing this out. So, like, I thought they had a good offseason, right? I did. I thought they had a good offseason because they were starting so behind the 8 ball, right. and they needed to add players that were big league capable. But haven't we learned in the Bay Area, whether it's Trey Lance, whether it's the Golden State Warriors with their young players, or whether it's the San Francisco Giants currently, young guys got to play.
They got to play.
They got to play. Very few young guys are just going to hit the ground like Brock Purdy and soar. And even Brock Purdy, I would say, Brock Purdy got the benefit of playing 4 years of college football. And clearly that helped him out. I mean, clearly it did. And so I'm looking at what the Giants got going, and I really believe that, like, I don't think we were going to see Schmidt. I don't think we were going to see Ramos or Matos. None of those guys was doing such a job at AAA that was going to force their hand. But because of the injuries, you now have an opportunity. Bonte, in 45 days, they have basically a 10-game gap between them and the Dodgers, and they have the 4th worst run differential in the National League.
Yep.
That's who they are. Right? That's who they are. So this year should be a development year. I know I wanted to compete for the wild card. I wanted in. I liked the pillow deals. I understand why they did it. They were behind in the farm. The farm wasn't looking good. But now we're here in the middle of the season, and I'm looking at what they have. This isn't a contender. Let's face the mirror, and let's look in the mirror, man in the mirror, Michael Jackson, and let's just admit what we are. We are not a contender. So if you know that, let's look at Lamont Wade Jr., is he an everyday middle-of-the-order player?
No. In my opinion, no.
Well,
he's playing well.
He's playing great.
But he's got 2 home runs.
But I want to see him play every single day this year just to make that determination.
Well, see, here's the difference between the Giants and where the Warriors are at and where the Niners are at. The Warriors were, in their heads, competing for championships. You know, and I get it.
Agreed.
The first year you win a championship with Kuminga and Moody their rookie year. The second year you make the second round of the playoffs. We know how murky that got with the Anthony Lambs and the Ty Jerome. But I get it because you have championship players still on that roster. The 49ers, you got guys knocking on their doorstep of the Hall of Fame, guys knocking on doors of all pros. The 49ers as a whole knocking on the door for Super Bowl championships. What is the excuse for not watching Schmidt, Ramos, Matos, Luciano, Bailey, for that matter, Casey Schmidt, pardon me, for guys who don't have the track record of having a lot of success in the majors? Lamont Wade Jr. has not had a lot of success in the majors. You know what I'm saying? Jung-Hoo Lee, we're just watching for the first time, and he's on a 6-year, $113 million deal. He's okay. Not bad, but he hasn't blown me away yet.
Well, and I'm glad you bring him up because I'll let you continue. Jung-Hoo Lee is like a rookie. He needs the reps, and that's why this injury is really bad for him.
But I look at him in this lineup, and he's bat leadoff. And I'm looking at the Phillies that we just watched on the road. I'm saying he's batting eighth for the Phillies.
Phillies have the best record in baseball.
They do, but he's batting eighth for the Braves.
I know.
He's batting eighth for the Dodgers.
That's the gold standard.
That's the gold standard.
You're right.
So when I look at the Giants and seeing, you know, when Farhad talking to Susan Slusser, I don't know if you caught the article last week in the Chronicle with Farhad Zaidi talking to Susan Slusser. He said there's a lot of stake this year. You know, we're up against it. What was the line he used, Spinoni? He used something like, there's a lot on the line for a lot of guys out there, basically. I'm paraphrasing. There's a lot on the line for this team, you know? And I'm thinking to myself, well, is there a lot on the line for you? Because let's say if they do go this route, and they're not a contender, because I'm looking at them 19-23, and I'm thinking, I don't know what I'm getting from this team. And we got the Dodgers coming in for 3 games starting tonight at Oracle Park. But I'm looking at the team and I'm saying, okay, if you don't pop on the guys you spent all this money for, and then the youngsters don't translate to having any success this season, where does that leave Farhan Zaidi? And I'm not trying to make it, I'm not trying to make this Monster Monday a Farhan Zaidi show. I'm not. But the plan is that he was supposed to develop this farm system and have guys ready to go by year 5, year 6. Well, we're in year 6. And if nobody pops and you trade away all this money, all these guys, the Chapmans, the Confortos, the Snells, then where does that leave Farhan?
It's a great question.
I got to go in a different direction, doggy.
Well, I love that ending right there.
Yeah,
I love that. Repackaging my word. I love that. No, I love it.
You're back.
We just got a good look at the Cincinnati Reds. Are the Cincinnati Reds a contender?
No.
But are they a fun team?
Absolutely.
Oh, my God.
And their pitching is getting great experience.
Right? They're coming around.
They're coming around.
Right? And I look at that team now. They have higher-end talent than what the Giants have, but they're a team that runs the bases really well. They're exciting. They've got exciting players, and it feels like to me they're a team that's on the rise and on the come-up. And they're not even in their window yet. I'm envious of what the Reds have going right now because I feel like they've got a little nucleus.
Yep.
And I look at what the Giants have built right now, and it's 6 years of Farhan. I just think the reality is I thought the farm would be farther along.
Yep.
I think it's
not even close.
They thought the farm would be farther along.
It's not even close.
No doubt.
Sure.
I mean, look, Casey Schmidt had a great at-bat to end the game, and he drove that ball into left center. That was beautiful. His at-bats leading up to that last at-bat have not been good.
No.
If we're being fair.
No.
He's swinging at everything. He's still swinging at that high slider, that away into the other batter's box.
0-8-3.
They haven't been good. I'm looking at the rest of the lineup. Chapman is like 5 for 31 or whatever. He's not doing well right now. Estrada is barely hovering below league average.
And just look at these batting averages.
They're not good.
Chapman, 213. Flores, 210.
Flores.
Yaz, 209. Schmidt, 083. Wisely hasn't played much.
Yeah, Brett
Estrada's down to 247, but I think Estrada's been okay. He's showing some power lately. That's the thing. Can you hang around this race with the bats? And I just don't believe in the bats. But like Jorge, did you know Jorge Soler? I've done a deep dive on him before, but again, just looking at it, he's had 2 years in which he's hit more than 14 home runs in his career.
Because he's hurt.
He's always hurt.
I know.
He's always hurt. So you spend money on that guy. And look, we all said it looks better on paper because where the bar was for Farhan Zaidi. The bar was he can't sign anybody. Well, he finally did. But Scott Boras used Farhan Zaidi. He knew that at the end of the day, if Snell and Chapman and all these guys inside right away, I've always got the Giants to lead on because they're always finishing in third place in these free agency signings. And he went for the okey-doke.
But I'm not enraged about what they did in free agency. I'm way more disappointed overall in the farm system, in the lack of being able to pump out players, which is why you had to go free agency. See, that's the part that everyone, I think the big misnomer, because I've seen a lot of people coming back at me on the internet last week. They're like, 95-7 the game. You guys wanted them to sign free agents. Yeah, because they're so behind in their farm development. What team are you watching?
Yeah.
What team are you watching? All right.
By the way, the internet always coming at 95-7 the game. Just a quick aside.
It's driving me nuts.
Well, we have takes. We have takes.
And we stand by
We have opinions.
Because we watch.
Do you want us to have an opinion? Do you want us to have a take? God. Or do you want us to just tell you what you want to hear?
Well, these are sports opinions. And if you disagree, great. Because that's what makes a great conversation.
And let me tell you again, we do not wave pom-poms. We're going to tell you what you like. We're going to tell you what you don't like. It is what it is. The Giants are an okay baseball team right now. They're not impressive. And you know what? We thought the swagger was here. They're not much more entertaining than they were a season ago. Well, because I hate to say that.
It's because you're looking at the team. So you bring up Soler, over 30. Wilmer Flores, 34. Mike Yastrzemski, 34. They're playing a lot of old guys. And so, I keep going back to the same thing, right? You got to sprinkle in the young guys. And you have to take the lumps. And you have to just see what those guys are. And if they're not good, so be it. Turn the card over. Let me see the next young player. You can't just give me a revolving door of journeymen.
But the plan, what is the plan? This is what I want to figure out. when it comes to the Giants. And we'll talk some Giants. We're going to meet Nick Sorensen, who spoke for the first time last Friday. We'll get our first impressions on Nick Sorensen, a new defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers. And yes, he'll be on the field. He'll be on the field calling the defense. You don't have to worry about press box gate or whatnot. Steve Wilkes, he will be on the sidelines this year for the 49ers. But when we talk about the Giants, Shask, what is the overall plan of Farhad Zaidi? Is it to rebuild the farm system? Because it seems like, just looking at it, it feels like he's done a poor job at that. Is it to bring in veterans who could take this team over the top? And when I say over the top, get to a playoff spot? I don't know. These veterans, we've seen them for the last few years. I mean, I still got 5 for 76 stuck in my head. You know what 5 for 76 represents? That's the middle ground between the Giants and the Dodgers when it came to, like, who was it? Darren Ruff, Mike Krzyzewski, Lamont Wade Jr., Wilber Flores. We got basically the same guys. The same guys 3 years later.
I refuse to believe that the plan was I sign a bunch of 1- and 2-year veterans who were sitting on the market till the week before the season started in year 6. Wow. I don't believe, that's the nucleus of what's going to make me a fringe wild card team. I refuse to believe that was the plan. So going off that, what did I think the plan was? Was for them to draft and develop better, and they haven't done it.
Haven't done it yet.
I mean, that's the proof is in the pudding. That's why I want to see the young players right now, because they're not playing at AAA. Maybe they play at the big league level. Maybe they don't. But don't we deserve the right to know? As fans, we've been waiting long enough.
So what does that mean for Farhad? What does that mean for him? What does that